From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Jason White. Dominic LeBlanc and Stephen McKinnon are taking on additional cabinet responsibilities after the resignation of Chrystia Freeland. She's stepping down from cabinet to take on a new special envoy role, dealing with the reconstruction of Ukraine.
Freeland had been discussing leaving cabinet in private conversations with the Prime Minister for about a month, but today it became official. Freeland has been a stalwart advocate for Ukraine, spearheading efforts to have Western countries seize Russian assets and then use them to finance Ukraine's defense. She shook up the Canadian political scene late last year when she resigned as finance minister to former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, dealing the knockout blow that led to his resignation in January. Freeland had sought to replace him at the top this spring, but lost the party leadership race to Carney, then served for months as his transport and internal trade minister. Kyle Duggan, The Canadian Press, Ottawa.
We have a date for the much-delayed federal budget, November 4th. Finance Minister François-Philippe Champagne says it'll tighten up spending while investing billions in defense and infrastructure.
We're going to be presenting to Canadian what we call the operational spend and the capital investment. And to make it simple, Canadians understand, when you buy a house, you invest. When you go to the grocery, you spend. And what I say is that this budget is going to be a generational investment in Canada.
The federal budget usually arrives in the spring, but the Liberals delayed this one until the fall. The Quebec mother found not criminally responsible for abandoning her toddler in an Ontario field back in June will stay in a Montreal psychiatric hospital for now. A Quebec court judge ruled today despite the woman's improving mental health, she still poses a risk to the public. The federal government is extending the taxpayers' ombudsman's term for another 2 years. The ombudsman handles complaints to the Canada Revenue Agency, and his extension comes after the finance minister asked CRA for a 100-day plan to improve service delays at its call centers. Canada's obstetricians say Tylenol is safe to take in pregnancy. They're reiterating their position after a report that U.S. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. plans to link autism to use of the common painkiller in pregnancy. Sticky inflation at the grocery store continues putting the pinch on Canadians. Statistics Canada says grocery inflation accelerated in August, especially in the deli aisle, even as overall price pressures are relatively steady. BMO economist Benjamin Wrightsey says the Bank of Canada might worry about inflation expectations rising if those prices keep on climbing.
That's one of the challenges I think that the Bank of Canada faces at the moment. That food in particular, something you buy every day, has continued to push higher, remains well elevated on a relative basis, and we see those on an everyday basis.
Economists widely expect the Bank of Canada to cut its policy rate by a quarter point at its decision tomorrow. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, Philadelphia Flyers general manager Danny Briere says Carter Hart's agent has ruled out the free agent goalie signing with the franchise when he's eligible to return to the NHL. Hart's one of 5 players acquitted of sexual assault charges from an incident in London, Ontario in 2018. The NHL is allowing the 5 to sign contracts October 15th and return to the ice December 1st. In baseball, the Toronto Blue Jays continue their series tonight in Tampa. Canada Soccer is looking to raise $25 million by 2027 to help grow that sport in Canada. The governing body says it's already secured more than $11 million in gifts and commitments. And Sean McVay says he tore his plantar fascia while coaching the Los Angeles Rams to victory over the Tennessee Titans last Sunday. The youngest coach to win a Super Bowl didn't say exactly when it happened, but he appeared to pull up awkwardly while moving to call a timeout during the 33-19 win. From the Canadian Press, I'm Jason White.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.